guys. This is under day one notes, but we're going to talk about musical instruments today. And like I said, those of you who've had band before, this is going to be easy peasy for you guys. But for the rest of us non-musical people in the world, it's a little bit harder. So, need to know. First, there's these instruments called string family. Why do you think they're called string instruments? Because they have strings on them. And that's your violins, your violas, your cellos, your double bass, which looks like a super huge violin. Also, your guitars and harps are string instruments. And hint, hint, wink, wink, strings of violins are tuned by tightening and loosening the pegs. And the pegs are these little bitty things right here on the end. Next one we need to know is woodwinds. They're named woodwinds because they produce a vibration of air within a tube that traditionally was made out of wood. Not necessarily now, so don't let anybody trip you up on the test with that. By opening and closing the holes along the tube, that changes the length of vibrating air column that varies the pitch of the instrument. And there's a thin piece of cane inside the wood, or now we use brass and metal for all that. It's used in singly or in pairs for the woodwind, and that's called a reed. Ones you need to know flute, oboe, English horn. Don't let anybody trip you up on a test with that. English horn is not a brass instrument, it is a woodwind. The clarinet, the bassoon, the contrabassoon, and also the saxophone. Next one, brass instruments. Brass instruments, the vibrations of brass instruments that create sound come from the musician's lips. So, all those band kids have some pretty strong lips out there if they're playing a brass instrument. The pitch of the brass instruments regulated by the varying lip tension, strong lips, and by using slides and valves to change the length of the air tube that vibrates. So using their lip tension, they blow through the little holes right here and then press on the little buttons, and then that varies those valves and slides and changes the air tube that makes the pitch of the instrument go up and down. Need to know cornet, French horn, and euphonium. All the band kids get mad when I say this, but it looks like a small tuba, okay? Next one, percussion. These are the most fun to play. They are struck by hand, sticks, or with hammers. Some are shaken or rubbed. The timpani, this thing right here, or the kettle drums, and the xylophone are the only percussion instruments that have a definite pitch. Others are drums, tambourine, triangle cymbals, gongs. They all have an indefinite pitch. And you use percussion instruments to emphasize rhythm. So this is how you keep the beat to the music. And I mean, these would be the most fun to play in my opinion. Who wouldn't want to beat on the bongo drums? All right, so you need to know kettle drum or timpani and xylophone have a definite pitch. All the others have an indefinite pitch, and they're used to keep rhythm. All right, keyboard instruments. Keyboard permits the performer to play several tones at the same time easily and rapidly. Remember yesterday when we watched the little 6-year-old play Flight of the Bumblebee on the piano? He was playing extremely fast. Some use vibrating strings, but the pipe organ, you might have seen one of these in a church downtown, or especially in the big Catholic churches and cathedrals in downtown New Orleans. They use vibrating air columns to produce sound. All right, these you need to know: the celeste, the piano, the pipe organ. Okay? All right, so it sounds really, really cool. This is the Mormon Tabernacle Choir in Utah. And this whole thing back here is the organ. Watch the guy who plays it. It's crazy. mean, 5 or 6 keyboards and his feet were going and there's buttons everywhere. I don't even know how you begin to teach yourself how to play that stuff. So then there's this stuff called electronic instruments. So how do you think they produce sounds? Put my Dora voice on. But through electronic means. Yes, don't overthink this stuff. So synthesizers, they can usually be played using a keyboard, and they allow the composer complete control over pitch and tone color, dynamics, noises. It can be musical sounds or just regular noises, whatever they program into the synthesizer to make. All right, let's see if you know which family these instruments belong to. We'll channel your inner preschooler.
Before we can help, we need to meet the families. Did you know that instruments have families? In an orchestra, each family sits together. This is the woodwind family. These instruments are made of wood and are played by blowing air into them. They sound pretty, like this. The brass family's instruments are made of shiny metal and are also played by blowing air into them. Quincy is great at playing the trumpet, which is in the brass family. Here's the string family. They move their bows across their strings to make beautiful music, like this. The percussion family is made of cymbals and drums. Percussion instruments are hit with a stick or a hand to make music. They sound like this. Now that you've met everyone, let's go help those lost instruments. Here is the first little instrument. Listen to the instrument play, then click on the family that looks and sounds the same.
Alright, which family?
Brass. Brass. Awesome. Brass.
Which family?
Percussion. Perfect match. Percussion.
Which one does this belong to?
Strings. You did it. Strings.
And the last one.
Woodwinds. Awesome. Woodwinds.
Alright, pretty good job, guys. So, need to know that the strings normally sit up front in the orchestra and percussion is usually in the back, okay? Strings in the front, percussion in the back. Alright, that's it for today. Know that I love you. Be safe. Don't take any chances. Look out for each other, and I'll see you next time.